Friends, to know about finite verbs, we need to see the whole classification of verb. Verb is divided into two main categories, finite verbs and non-finite verbs. Finite verbs are those verbs which plays an important role in the sentence, and without finite verbs, a sentence cannot be complete. Whereas non-finite verbs do not act as the main verb. Rather, they work as an adjective, noun. So, in other words, we can say that finite verbs are the principal verbs, without which sentence cannot be completed. If we look at the categories, we will get confused that how to differentiate between finite and non-finite verbs because categories are vast. We will come back to this chart after knowing few things about finite verbs. So let us see in short how to identify finite verbs in seconds. So friends, finite verb gets affected by three things. First is time, second is number, and third is person. Now let us talk one by one in detail. Those verbs which changes according to the time of action, number of people, or the person doing the action is called finite verb. Now what are they? Time means tense. We all know there are three tenses: present, past and future. So if I write a sentence here, I like painting or I liked painting, I am changing the tense. One is in present tense and another one is in past tense. Like has become liked. It means that this verb is changed according to the change of tense. But this verb doesn't got change. Painting is also a verb, but it is remain unchanged. So this is non-finite verb. Now let us see how it gets affected by number. Number means the number of people who are doing the action. Like he plays to enjoy. Plays is a verb here. He is a subject which is singular and they is a subject which is plural. When we use the verb play, we had to add s because he is third person singular subject. Let's have a look at the tense chart that how present indefinite and past indefinite tense is formed. In present indefinite tense, we use either the first form of verb or we put s or es with the first form of verb. If the subject is third person singular, then we put s with the verb. In other cases, we do not put, like if I will be there, then it will be I eat food only. So here also we are learning that if you are changing the subject, then how are you changing the finite verbs? And past indefinite tense is simply made by using second form of verb, that is ate. When we put they subject, then we had to change it into play. It means that when we change the number of the person, then we had to change the verb. So those verbs which are getting affected are finite verbs, but those verbs which are not getting affected are non-finite verbs. Now let us see that how person gives effect to finite verbs. First of all, let us see that how many person are there in English grammar. So we need to have a look at the grammatical person chart. In English grammar, first person is I and second person is you. And in the same way, first person plural will be we and second person plural will be you. But if you leave I and you, then everything, every person is third person. If it is many in number, like they, those, many, then it will be third person plural. Now, why they are highlighted, friends? Because only and only with third person singular subjects, we add those verbs which are ending with s. Like does, is, was, has. If we take the action verb, then also out of read and reads, reads will come because it is also ending with s. This is the association we had made. You can easily remember this. You go for swimming, she goes for swimming. You is second person, she is third person singular. When we change the subject, we had to change the verb you go for swimming, whereas she goes for swimming. We have added es with go. So this verb is finite, whereas swimming is non-finite verb. So we can conclude that a verb that changes as per time, number or person is called a finite verb, and rest all will be non-finite verbs. So friends, in this video today we are only going to understand that how to identify a finite verb or a non-finite verb. We will understand the categories of non-finite verb in next videos. Now friends, we can open these categories. So finite verb is divided into main and helping, and main is further divided into transitive, intransitive and linking verbs. So we are opening transitive, intransitive and linking verbs, and we will see that are they really affected by time, person and number? Friends, this is a clip from classification of verb video lecture where we have already discussed about all of them. These are the transitive verbs, intransitive verbs and linking verbs. In the examples, we can see that are they affected by time, person or number? The boy flew kites. Flew is the transitive verb here. Transitive verbs are those verbs which needs an object. But we are learning here today finite verbs. So this is finite verb also. How? Because flew can be fly if we change the tense of the verb. It means this is finite verb. Now let us see intransitive verb. The birds flew away. This is also getting affected by tense. Plays can be played if changes into past tense. Linking verb is can become was, or it can become are also. If Rahul and Neha will be subject, then it will become are. It means that these verbs are getting changed if we are making the change in tense, number or person. Now let us see the categories of auxiliary verbs. These are the categories of primary helping verbs and these are modal verbs. So they all are getting affected. The boy is flying a kite. Is can be changed into are or was according to the number or person. Might can also become may if you change the tense of the sentence. Therefore, now we can say that transitive, intransitive, linking, primary and modal all are the categories of finite verb. These all verbs get affected by time, number and person. This is the common characteristic of all these verbs. I hope friends that finite verbs are clear now, but now let's have a look in short that what are non-finite verbs. Gerund is formed by adding ing with the verb. For example, in these sentences, I like painting, we have added ing with the verb, so this is gerund. Here also with swimming, we have added ing, so this is gerund form of verb. Whereas participle can also be formed by adding ing, but it also ends with en, ed and d. I will show you in three forms that how they end with these alphabets. These are the three forms of verbs, and friends, we have discussed about these forms of verbs in all the tense video lectures. And I must say that without the knowledge of tenses, no grammar topic is easy to understand because tense is the base of all the topics. Irregular verbs are those verbs where the second and third form are irregular. Do, did, done, drive, drove, driven, go, went, gone. Went and gone are irregular verbs because the formation is irregular. Whereas if you look at this category, then you can notice that second and third form are formed by adding ed with the verb. So this is called regular verb. And friends, first form is also called base form, second form is also called past tense, and third form is also called part participle. And present participle is formed by adding ing. We use present participle form in continuous tenses. If you remember the tense chart, ing form is added in continuous tenses. So this is also known as participle. So friends, we are talking about these two sections. These verbs are participle verbs, past participle and present participle. These two categories are non-finite verbs. They are participle form of verbs. Reason is that they do not get affected by time, person and number. Let's go back now. And now infinitives are those verbs which are added to plus verb. With these verbs, to will also be added. Like we had studied this example, he plays to enjoy. To is added with the verb. So this is infinitives. These are remain unchanged. Now let us see some examples of both of them. So here some sentences are given. I learn English. If you put here he, then it will be learns. Because according to present indefinite tense, we put s with third person singular subject. He learns English. But if I am writing I, then it will be learn. It means this is finite verb. Arjun smiles a lot. If you write here Arjun and Neha, then what will happen? Smiles will become smile. We are checking our answer with any one of the three categories. Now we are checking with this category where we are changing the number. Arjun and Neha smile a lot. It means this is again finite verb. She ate an apple. If you convert this tense into present tense, now we are checking this as per time, then it will be she eats an apple. It means this is changing. So again this is finite verb. I am tired. If you change the person, if you write you, then what will be the answer? You are tired. So finite verb. Renu enjoys a lot. If you change the tense and you want to change it into future tense, then Renu will enjoy a lot. It means it is changing. If you change the number, Renu and Meeta enjoy a lot, then also enjoy will be changed. And if you change the person, like if you write I here, then it will be I enjoy a lot. Any one of the category you can use and you can try that whether the verb is finite or non-finite. So this is again finite verb. I read storybooks. Now you can make changes with any of three categories and you find out that this verb can be changed. I read storybooks. He reads storybooks. So finite verb. I should visit her. Should can be changed into shall if the tense of the verb is changed. Come here. This is called imperative sentence. Imperative sentences are also finite verbs because this verb is main verb in this sentence. This is intransitively used here. This is intransitive verb here. So this is also main verb and hence it is finite verb. Now friends, in this chart we can see that there are two verbs which are given together. They are the mixture of finite and non-finite verbs. Helen was running around. Two verbs are there, was and running. Now we have to see that which verb can be changed. If you write here Helen and Jack, then it will become were. Helen and Jack were running around, but there will be no change on running. It means this is finite verb and this is non-finite verb. I had been living here for months. If you change the tense of this sentence in present tense, then had will become have. I have been living here for months. You are changing the time of the sentence. So had will be changed, but there is no change in been and living. Therefore, this is finite verb and this is non-finite verb. Olivia is coming around 6. If you change the person here, like you are making here you. So what will happen? You are coming around 6. Coming is not affected at all. Is affected. So this is finite verb and this is non-finite verb. The proposal has been examined today. Now it is same as the second sentence, only has will be changed. If you change the tense of the sentence, the proposal had been examined, the proposal will have been examined, has is only affected, there is no change on been and examined. Whether you change the tense or you change the number or you change the person, been and examined will remain unaffected. So they are non-finite. Someone refused to accept the offer. Let us write here, I refuse to accept the offer. We are changing the time. So it will be refuse here. If we are changing the tense, I refuse to accept the offer. No change in accept. Therefore, this is non-finite and refused is a finite verb. She saw the man running away. I want to highlight this sentence. This is in past tense. But what happens that in past tense, if you change the person, then also it will remain unaffected. If I write I here, I am changing the person here. I saw the man running away, no change in any verb. If you change the number here, I and you saw the man running, again no change. In past tense, only the verb gets changed if we change the time. So our finite verb may be affected by any one of the category or all the three categories. But if in any one category it is getting affected, then this will be finite verb. So now if I change the time, if I make it is in present tense, she sees the man running away. Running will get unaffected. So saw will be finite, running will be non-finite. I am trying to get the tickets. Am finite, get non-finite. To plus get. It is non-finite verb. Smoking costs a lot of money. Smoking will cost a lot of money. Smoking costs a lot of money. Smoking costs a lot of money. Smoking will remain unchanged. Cost will get changed. Non-finite verb, finite verb. I hope till now the concept is clear so we can easily solve this exercise. And in this exercise, we have to pick out the verbs and mark them finite or non-finite. And now you can pick out in seconds. Broke is finite verb because it changes according to the tense. He breaks the vase. So we will check with any one of the category as per our choice. Now we are changing the tense. He breaks the vase. It means it is changing. He gave me a chair to sit. First of all, mark the verbs. Two verbs are there, gave and sit. He gives me a chair to sit. We are changing the tense. It means this is affected, so finite. To sit remain unaffected, non-finite. We found him smoking behind the shed. Two verbs, found and smoking. Found can be changed if you change into present tense. I find him smoking behind the shed. Find is changed, but smoking is unchanged. He had his car cleaned. If I change the tense, he has his car cleaned. So had is finite verb and cleaned is non-finite verb. David plays the piano to earn. Two verbs, plays and earn. If you write I here, then it will be play. I play the piano to earn. So finite verb, non-finite verb. This rule is explained very well in tense videos. They demolished the ruined building. Two verbs, demolished, finite, because it can be changed into demolish if you convert into present tense, but ruined will be unaffected. I saw a girl carrying a basket. Saw and carrying. Two verbs. I see a girl carrying a basket. It means saw is getting affected. Finite, non-finite. She gave chocolate to a weeping child. Gave can become gives, but weeping will remain weeping only in all the cases. Do not get off from the bus. This is imperative sentence, and we have understood that imperative sentences are the forms of intransitive verbs. They are the main verbs, so they are finite verbs only. He was wearing a torn shirt. Was, wearing and torn. Three verbs are there. Tear, torn, torn. This is third form of verb. And we have understood that third form of verb, which is past participle form of verb, is also non-finite. In next videos, we will learn that how can we identify the categories of non-finite verbs, which are three: gerund, participle and infinitives. Till then, thanks for watching. Stay connected.